Good evening, YouTube. This is Silent Citadel, and tonight is my video in honor of 10,000 subscribers. Wow, that's pretty awesome. So, I have offered to answer a number or possibly all of the questions that I got, and there are a lot. So I guess the best thing to do is to begin at the beginning and see if we can get through them together. I'm gonna start on Facebook because that's where I originally posted the inquiry for questions. My friend Kat asked me about my choice of materials, my favorite tools, and to be completely honest, and this is going to kind of gloss over most of my art supplies, I work with what I have. You know, I've been poor or lower middle class most of my life, and if I don't have a tool, I don't use it. I guess I mean, if I don't have a paintbrush, I use my fingers, and my fingers are covered in paint, or if they don't work, I cut out a piece of a kitchen sponge. I kind of use what I have. If I don't have a nail art brush, I cut down a regular brush and I just snip off the edges. If I don't have a little brush, then I use a knitting needle. I just make stuff up. So I don't really have any favorites exactly. I guess, you know, Tim Holtz makes a lot of really wonderful products, but I use what I have. Ultimately, I made plenty of products using things that I found on the street corner, and I don't feel like you need products or tools. I feel like you need your mind to make something really cool. Got some funny ones. Sugar, how'd you get so fly? By being human, yo. I don't know. Lynn asked actually something really good. Have you always been creative? Did I experience ASMR when I was young, but didn't know what it was? And again, this is going to gloss over a few other questions. I have always been creative. I'm not afraid to make mistakes, and I think that's something that one of the most valuable things you can do as someone who wants to create is you have to be willing to barrel through, and if you screw up and if you make a mistake, fine. You know, that's okay. A lot of the tarot cards, the first silent tarot that I made, a lot of them had multiple layers of things. I would do something and I wouldn't like it, so I'd make something on top of it, and so on and so forth until the deck was done. I guess what I mean is, I'm not afraid to screw up, and I think that's really the key, is if you have an idea, to go for it, and if you mess up, then it's not the end of the universe. Whatever, you can do it again. Somebody asked me if I could give up all electronic devices for a year. Yeah. I could. I don't have a smartphone, but honestly, it doesn't matter. We lived for thousands and thousands of years as, you know, mobile mammals, mammalian species. We were hunter-gatherers, and I don't know how to do that, but I think if they could do it, I could probably learn. Yes. Hosni asked what inspires me. My answer is planet Earth. Everything. If I see something pretty, I get an idea sometimes. So, everything. And I'm so honored. Maria asked me this. Do you prefer blondes or brunettes? It's a tough question. I used to really prefer black hair. I've dyed my hair black for many years. But my significant other has blonde hair, so I guess I don't really have a preference. I like hair, or you know what, in Patrick Stewart's case, a complete lack of hair. He looks great with no hair. He looked funny when he had hair. So yeah, it doesn't really matter. Hair or no hair. I like heads. She also asked what's the most exotic food I've ever tried. That would be a century egg. And if you don't know what it is, look it up. It smells like horse pea, and it tastes like brie and horse pea. And how much is a lot of money for me? How much is a lot of money? That depends. Some months $20 is a lot of money, and some months $100 is a lot of money, and some months $500 is a lot of money. It kind of depends. You know, things go well, things don't go so well. Depends on the circumstances. What advice do I carry with me through life and share with everyone? I like that question, Maria. Thank you. When my mom died, I learned to appreciate what I have and to not gripe and groan about petty things. And I learned how important it was to not take things for granted and to partition my time well, to make my time count, and to do the things that I wanted to do and not really concern myself with other people's opinions of them. Truly, not to say I don't care, but to really not care. You know, it's one thing to say, oh, I don't care what they think, and it's a whole nother thing to really not care what they think, you know. It's a good one. Thanks, Maria. My good friend East Coast ASMR asked me what's my favorite planet. And if I could give any advice to my younger self, what would it be? And would I be interested in creating a religion with him? The main focus of worship was the burrito. Burritos are awesome, but religion I'm not super into, so I'm gonna pass on that one. It's attractive, I like it, but if I was gonna create a cult, I think I would probably craft it around something else. As for the other question, like that one though. If I could give any advice to my younger self, no, because you learn from your mistakes. And what's my favorite planet? Probably one we haven't found yet. Gliese 581D is pretty cool. I really like what the planet finders are discovering. I feel like what we're doing as far as triangulating planets is pretty nifty, and I would say anything habitable outside of our solar system would be something that I would be all about. Hadley asked me about my style of parenting, and my answer to that is play. I play a lot with my son. I pay attention to him when he asks me something. I try to engage him. I read to him a lot, and I try to be his friend and respect his opinion. I try to treat him like a human and not a child. I mean, sometimes I have to treat him like a child, you know. You scream for 10 minutes, get a timeout. That's it is what it is. If I could give my, you know, significant other or my housemate or myself a timeout, if I screamed for 10 minutes, I probably should have a timeout. But but yeah, I would say tolerance, love, and care, attention, humanity, and respect, most of all. Tara asked me what talent I wish I had that I do not have. I really wish I could play a musical instrument. I learned to play the first few notes of the original Star Trek theme on the singing saw. That's the only thing I know how to play on any musical instrument, and I think it would be really cool if I knew how to play a musical instrument very well. Tom asked me if my son is a fan of Maria, and to that I say I do not watch ASMR videos with my family. I watch them usually at work, because that's when I feel a lot of stress and strain, and I also have time to myself. I work 12-hour shifts and I sit in front of a computer, so I feel like that's probably the best time for me to watch videos. And that's it for the Facebook questions. On to the YouTube questions. And again, I'm sorry you guys about the weird, like, I know if you watched it on a smartphone you couldn't see the annotations, but I don't have a video editor on my computer. I tried. My Windows video editor thing crashes every time I try and use it, and everything else that's free sucks, so I'm working on it. I'm trying. I have this really cool microphone here. Check it out. It's awesome. Look at how pretty that is. It's like, you know what this reminds me of? Is a Portal. It looks a little bit like Play-Doh's. I feel like it's like a space core, and kind of sucks because yeah, it sucks. I can't use it. I mean, I can, but I can't use it simultaneously with my videos. I want to go to space. Space. If you know that, you played Portal. Do I want more kids? Nope. One and done. 7.5 billion people is plenty. What's my favorite food? Lebanese. I would honestly wonder that all the time. Let's see. Calming Escape asked me something. What's my favorite part about living in Oregon? It's liberal, it's green, it's rainy and dark and beautiful. I couldn't imagine myself living anywhere else. I lived in northern Washington for quite a span, and that was pretty awesome. But I miss Portland because there was a lot of culture here and everything. I love Portland. I love it so much. I would not want to live anywhere else. Have I always been into cool crafty things? No. I did photography for many years. I was into darkroom photography, black and white darkroom photography, until I realized one day that you could do the same thing in 5 minutes in Photoshop that you could in 6 hours in a darkroom, and I felt like I was wasting my time, so I said, to heck with this, and I put down my camera. And I picked up multimedia. What's my favorite color? They said it's an easy one. It's not. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have a favorite color. It's a funny question. Everybody has a favorite color. I definitely do not have a favorite color. I guess it changes. I kind of like forest green. And wow. Yeah, I don't have a favorite color. How many times did I have to tell smartphone users that the annotations won't show up? A lot. I'm really sorry. Again, I apologize. If I could have edited this in a normal video editor to announce this, I would have. How old am I? I am over 30 and under 40. Who is my significant other? His name is Hunter, and we've been together for like 7 years or something? I don't know. A long time. What was my first ASMR? Kindergarten. Maybe preschool. Someone drawing on my back, playing with my hair. What do I do for work? I work in the maritime industry, and I make sure that boats do not crash into each other. Have I ever seen a ghost? No. What's my favorite cartoon? Oh, I like cartoons. That's hard to answer. What's my favorite cartoon? Where's my water bottle? Sorry. My favorite cartoon. DuckTales, probably. I really like DuckTales. It's a good one. I really like the comic books by Carl Barks better. But the cartoon's pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of cartoons that are pretty fantastic. It's hard to say. I don't really like anime that much. I like Hayao Miyazaki and anything pretty much from Studio Ghibli, but I don't really like other anime. I like a lot of cartoons from my childhood, though. What's my ASMR story? That's a really cool question. The ASMR square. Cool. It's pretty vague, but I dig it. I was on boingboing.net, and I love Boing Boing. I'm there all the time. I read all this stuff that pops up. They update like 1,000,000 times a day. They always have these really interesting articles, and they had a link to RR Cherry Pie, one of those miniature food videos, and I went and I watched it, and the title to the article was something like, I can't stop watching this and I don't know why. And I was like, that sounds interesting, you know? I think I'm gonna look at that. So I looked at it and I was like, I can't stop watching this and I don't know why. And then in the comments section there was something like somebody threw out the term ASMR, and this was like 3.5 years ago. It was quite a while. And so I Googled ASMR, and you know, the ASMR, this website came up. It was really vague. And then I looked it up on YouTube, and I found sound sculptures, and I found Maria, and that was it. You know, I found it, and I was like, this is, you know, my holy grail. This is the thing I've been looking for. This is the missing piece. So I watched for about a year, and then I started making videos. Sound Sculptures had a video called the Matchbox Challenge, where she asked people to fit as many tiny little things as possible into like a matchbox. So we did, and I fit a lot of little things, and I didn't get very many views on it. It's not on this channel, it's on my old personal channel. But Sound Sculptures was really, she was encouraging. She was really positive, and I liked it. You know, I really liked making the video, and I felt like I can do this. My camera kind of sucks, and you know, I don't really have any equipment, but I have a lot of ideas, and I feel like that could go a long way. So I started making videos. This terrible little point and shoot camera. Sorry. I know there's a lot of white noise, and I'm working on getting a new one, but that's what I got for now. That's my ASMR story. Let's see. I love my collage work. Can I talk more about it? How I started, what kinds of materials I used, and if I've changed at all. Where did I get my inspiration for my imagery? If I have any influences. Wow, that's a lot of questions. What artists do I admire? As far as like my collage and my art type work goes, it's really sort of like my gut. I trust if it makes my eyes happy, that's good enough for me. If I go, yeah, looks right, and it's done. I have a lot of artists that I admire, but none of them do work that I do. They don't do anything like I do. I love a lot of photographers. I like a lot of comic book artists, graphic novel artists. I like a lot of painters, photographers. There aren't very, I don't know any collage artists really that that I could name. I do like art, though. It sounds really vague. That sounds super lame. I like art, but I like art. How did I start? And I started by like basically giving up photography. I gave up photography, and I was walking around Bellingham. I was depressed. I was bummed out about my camera and like how I didn't feel inspired anymore. And I started finding all these little rusty pieces of metal, and I decided to make a chess set out of pieces of rusty metal. And I did. All the stuff that I found on the sidewalk, and I just used rusty refuse, detritus, and super glue, and that was it. And I made this really awesome chess set. Totally fell apart really soon afterwards, but it was really awesome, and I felt really good about it. I was really, I don't know, I was really interested. I felt passionate about it. It was the first time I had felt really driven to do something in a long time. I think it started because I found a piece of metal that looked like a knight's hat. Like I felt like it should be like a piece of armor. Whisper Bubbles asked me if I could take the form of any person or object or creature in this big wide world. What would it be and why? No, my life is good. I mean, if I could be like for a day, like for one day and then come back, I'd probably choose to be like maybe a bird or like a deep sea fish or something, but I wouldn't want to like trade my life for anything. I feel like I have it really good. I'm really happy and everything's awesome, and I wouldn't really want to give it up. But if it could be for like just a little while, everything, I'd want to try on all the skins. What do I dream about? This is crazy. I took a nap today with my son in his bed, and I totally dreamed about Maria. I dreamed about my house falling apart, and it was my birthday, and people were showing up, and there was like this big, what do you call it, like a road that was like a really rural sort of country road, and she got off this bus, and she was at this bus stop, and she was waiting for me, and there she was, and it was Maria, and I was so happy I fell down onto my knees, and I think I started crying. I know that sounds really weird, but you know how sometimes in your dreams you're like way more emotional than you are in real life, and it's pretty exciting. And I was like, I can't believe you showed up. And she was like, of course I showed up. And I was like, my house is in shambles, because in my dream my house was like rotting and falling to pieces. It was like this rotten barn, and like all the boards were falling out, and it was like dirt floors, and it was really depressed and falling to pieces. It's very interesting. Somebody asked, Steffi asked, she doesn't have a question, but she just now like to know about my life. What were my parents like? Any siblings? Normal childhood? Normal isn't really weird. Like, no, I didn't have a normal childhood. I was lower middle class. My parents, I like them. They were amazing. My mom is dead. I miss her a lot. She died about 7 years ago, I guess, this month. And I miss her a lot. She was an amazing person. She was wonderful. She was an incredible parent. Her name was Linda, and she was my best friend, and I miss her more than I can possibly express. My dad's name is Doug. He's still alive, and he's super cool. He's a poet. He's a beatnik, and he is friends with ASMR Aurette. He was friends with her before I knew her. That's how cool he is. For real, I mean that. I mentioned it to him. I was like, so I'm gonna go meet this person. We're gonna make a video. And he was like, oh, I know her. I was like, are you serious? And he was. Because she's a poet, and yeah, so he's pretty cool. His name is Douglas, and like I said, Douglas Spangle, and he's pretty fantastic. They didn't keep me on a leash. I could do pretty much whatever I wanted while I was growing up. I didn't really have a curfew. They didn't really give me any rules. They kind of let me do my own thing, and amazingly, I did not wind up in prison. Okay, I'm almost done. My battery is like right at the end. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Does my art have some type of unity that binds all my pieces into a conceptual whole? Where does the spirit come from that shapes my aesthetic blend of styles? I don't know. I don't have a good answer for that. I just kind of do what I like. Which books in life have changed my outlook or have a perennial position in my top 50? Only 85. Those are some good questions. I do have a lot of favorite books. I have a lot of favorite books. What is it called? The Long Emergency is one of my favorite books. It's fairly recent though. 6 Degrees Could Change the World is another one. Oh my gosh. Stiff, The Curious Lives of Human Cadavers. That is an awesome book. I really like Vladimir Nabokov. I like pretty much everything he's written, but I wouldn't count any of his books specifically in my top 50. I don't know, like, he's hard to classify. I kind of like have this love-hate relationship with him. It's hard to say. Fiction is hard for me. I enjoy fiction, but I feel like most of my favorite books are nonfiction. I really like Oliver Sacks. The Man Who Mistook His Wife for a Hat is one of my favorite books of all time. Yeah, there's a lot. Oh my gosh, my shelf is like super full of really awesome books. I don't even know what to tell you. Under a Green Sky is so good. Oh, Peak Everything is really good. Hallucinations. Out of Thin Air. Debt. The Elegant Universe. Oh God, that's such a good book. And hang on. This is one of my favorite books. Diary of a Pet Fiend. I wrote it. This is my book about working in a veterinary hospital, and I'm super proud of this. I wrote another book that's fiction. It's a novel. I like that one maybe even better, but this one's pretty cool. It's got a lot of pictures in it. Let's see. Pictures. Yay. There is a hummingbird being fed. Pretty cool. I worked at this veterinary hospital for a number of years, and I wrote a book about all the crazy stuff we saw. That was pretty cool. Let's see. Does my family know about my ASMR popularity? To some degree, yes. I don't try and babble on about it because Hunter is not super duper interested. I mean, he's very supportive, but he doesn't have it, and he's not like into it, I guess. Any other friends besides the ones in my videos? Yeah, I have some friends, but not that many. I lead a pretty quiet life, and I like that. The friends that I do have either have participated in my videos or are willing to. They all know about it. I have never asked my significant other if he would be willing to. He might be. I don't think he would be unwilling to. It's just never come up, I guess. I haven't asked him, and he never offered. He's just not that into it, so I haven't really put it forward. How do I think they would respond if I told them and they didn't know? I don't care. You know, if they think I'm weird, then that's nothing new. I'm pretty strange, so fine, whatever. Do I ever get relaxed making my own videos? Yeah, but I don't get tingles. I do get very relaxed though. I find it really therapeutic. I center, you know, I get kind of centered, like I focus, and I have this point of like concentration, and I find it very therapeutic. Is it possible to get tingles from watching my own videos? Nope, definitely not. I actually have really enjoyed watching the video that I did with Peaceful Whispers and the one I did with ASMR Arette, but it's different because there were other people. No, it wasn't about me. Can I name some of the movies that have really influenced me? And maybe one or two films that I have seen the most that I don't get tired of. Pump Up the Volume. It's like top of the list. That movie inspired my life. It's Christian Slater. It's from the 80s or early 90s. I know it sounds really bad, but it's amazing. It's so amazing, you guys. It's like, ugh, it's really good. It inspired me to start a zine and to sort of rebel and fight back and be a punk rocker and damn the man. I really liked movies I really liked. I really love the Alien movies. I really liked The Thing. Both of them, actually. The new one too. I really like the new one. The 1982 one and the one that just came out. I like a lot of science fiction movies. I love Blade Runner, and I love Solaris, the one with George Clooney, and the original one from the 50s by Tarkovsky. I find that a lot of people think it's unwatchable, but Stanislav Lem, who the author that wrote the original, was a visionary, and I feel like he represented it really well on film. So yeah, I have a lot of films. I really like a lot of movies, but it's hard to say which are my favorites. I love like the Terminator movies and like Air Force One and like big explosion movies, but I also really love some like very serious, thoughtful movies too. So it's really hard to say which is like my favorites. Which do I not get tired of though? Pump Up the Volume. I never get tired of it. It gives me such good vibes, man. Such good vibes. Every time I watch it. Every time I watch it. What is my favorite? This is the last question. It's from Net1340. What's my favorite and least favorite part about being in the ASMR community? My favorite part? You guys. Totally. Being able to communicate with people who have a common interest. I feel like I call people, there's a difference. There's friends by proximity and friends by common interest. And friends by proximity are people that you were pushed together with, like people that you were friends with in grade school or middle school or high school. Maybe you don't really have that much in common, but you're near each other. You go to the same school and you don't want to kill each other, so you end up being friends, and maybe you keep being friends even though you don't have that much in common, and you feel like eventually you're kind of slugging along through this friendship where you're like not getting that much out of it, and that kind of bums me out. I don't really have friends like that anymore. After my mom died, I kind of cleaned out my. It sounds really bad. It sounds like I'm like a horrible bitch, but I sort of purged a lot of friends, people that maybe I hung out with, but I didn't really have that much in common with. And then you have friends by common interest, and that's people who are really interested in the same things that you're interested in, and maybe they live on the other side of the world. I'm looking at you, Kiwi Whispers, and Sound Sculptures, and all you guys on the other side of the planet. It's awesome. Pig's Bum. If I drilled through the center of the earth right now, I might come out right next to your house. Real close, I think. My least favorite part? I don't know. I don't even mind trolls that much because I don't really get that many trolls. I feel like I'm kind of, I don't want to say I'm immune to trolls, but I'm definitely, I have like troll resistant powers because, I'm not 19 and I'm not like a model, and I don't show my face on camera that much. So I'm like anti-troll power. and that's really cool. And then when they do show up, you guys, you guys just got them. I don't even have to do anything. Somebody makes a nasty remark, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna let you guys deal with this, and there it is. It's done. I don't really have to do anything. I do sometimes have a snarky remark here and there, and it's usually pretty satisfying. The thing I like about trolls, rather than like in real life, somebody says something crappy to you and you're like, that's really crappy. And then 15 minutes later, you're like, oh, why didn't I say this? But online, you have time to think about it and you're like, I have just formulated the perfect comeback for you. And there it is. So, you know, I engage them occasionally. It's a guilty pleasure, but I try not to do it too much. And again, I don't have that many trolls, so it's really not an issue for me. That's it. That's all the questions. Wow, that's cool. You guys, thank you so much for your awesome questions. Wow, I can't believe it. I can't believe I got to all of them. Yay for me. You know, I thank you guys again for being amazing and for watching this and sitting through it and for submitting your cool questions and for listening to my long-winded rambling replies. And this was really nice. It was really fun. I don't really go on camera that much, so when I do, it's a little intimidating. I don't feel very comfortable in front of a camera, as you can see by my demeanor, I'm sure. If any of you, you know, like watch Criminal Minds or anything, you can profile me by my looking away from the camera a lot, and I'm covering my face. I'm not trying to say I hate myself or anything, I'm just not, you know, super comfortable. So, thanks for being wonderful and supportive and for getting me here. I want to throw a couple incredible shout outs. Sound Sculptures inspired me to start my channel, and she's like amazing. She's like one of the greatest people I've ever known as far as like being a muse. If I could just fold her up and put her in my pocket, carry her with her wherever I go, that would be super. There was one other question from Axton, and I saved it for last because Axton, you're awesome, but I need you to make another video. Like, I really need you to make another video because you're super awesome. And yeah, Sam, a piece of paper in front of an origami master. He can form you into anything ever in the whole world, anything past, present, any living thing, any object, any person. What would I choose to be foiled into and why? How about a pirate hat? I'd like to be a pirate hat. That's super lame. I can't think of anything better. Daniel asked me what do I believe happens when I die? I am going to go ahead and say right now that a lot of people have asked me whether I have pagan beliefs or like spiritual beliefs, whether I believe in ghosts or spirituality or anything like that. I consider myself a secular humanist, which means I believe in human dignity, respect, care for one another, science. I'm willing to be wrong. If somebody were to prove that ghosts or aliens or something like that really did exist, I would be like, awesome. That would be so cool, because if aliens existed, I would be like radical. But I have not seen any convincing evidence that they do, so at the moment, no. And as far as like Judeo-Christian religions, you know, if it brings you comfort, that's cool. And if it like makes you have respect and love for one another, that's cool too. But yeah, I believe that we're born and we grow and we love and we die, and then we turn back into soil, we feed the plants, and that's about it. And that's cool. It makes me really value life. You know, I really respect life and I really value life. And I don't take it needlessly, because I don't think we really go anywhere. You know, so when someone dies, they die. And I feel like that gives me a respect that I might not otherwise have. You look, there's some other questions that have shown up. Do I have any siblings? No. Did I have a normal childhood? No. And what are my parents like? Awesome. What do I, oh yeah, I already got that one. Okay, I guess that's it. Have I learned anything about the world of ASMR, the ASMR community? Everybody thinks about sex all the time. They either relate it to sex or they say, it's not about sex, it's not about sex. They're either like, sex, sex, it's definitely sexy, or it's not sexy at all. And I'm just like, whatever. I don't really care that much. If, like, you think ASMR is kind of sexy, that's fine. You know, people whispering in your ear, I can see why it would seem erotic. But I don't really think it's, you know, if you want porn, watch porn. It's not really porn to me. There's way better porn out there than ASMR. I mean, there's like every kind of porn in the universe. This is the internet. It's pretty much like, yeah, if two girls, one cup can exist, anything can happen. So let's just say that ASMR is like not. And my camera's like out of space, so it was great. Thanks, you guys. It's really awesome. Thanks for watching. Sorry if I didn't get to your question. Maybe next year. Bye. You ready? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, come here. Come here.
Hello. Thank you.
Can you sit down? Thank you.
You too. And 4, 10.
Can you read it louder? Can you read it louder?
10. 7. Scribble.
How do you say that part? Subscribers.
Subscribers.
Can you say subscribers?
Subscribers. With and Millicent
Citadel.
Citadel.
Good reading.
So happy.
What does this say?
Yay.
Yeah, it does.
I need to hold one card for myself. I need to hold Wesley.
Okay. Can you say, thank you, YouTube?
Thank you, YouTube.
Can you wave?
Bye-bye.